Good morning, everyone. Okay, so today we're going to talk about your foundation chain and starting your stitches and what's the best way to do that. Now, as a beginner, this is the absolute best way to just practice. Just grab you a hook, and we talked about that a little bit earlier. This is just a standard USG hook. This is a boil hook, and it's a metal hook. These are the standard ones that I use. It doesn't matter if you have like an ergonomic hook or what have you. What matters is how big this is. But you can grab you like an H hook or something just to practice. Doesn't really matter the size of hook as long as it can get around the yarn. This is Red Heart Super Saver yarn, size 4. And we're just going to pull off. And this is like center pull. You have no idea how happy that makes me. So you just make a slip knot. Now, some people make a slip knot. Some people make a magic ring or a magic circle is what they call it. I prefer to make a slip knot in the beginning of my work because if you don't knot your work, when you wash it, it will come out. A magic ring is basically you take your 3 fingers and you put the yarn over it, hold it with your thumb, and bring it around, and then put this one in the back, and then you just make a loop. Sorry, I'm trying to do this on video. Pull the loop through, and to me, it's a little more difficult, but just because I've been doing, let me try to do this the other way here. You see? Didn't say I was perfect. And then you just pull, you make like a chain, like you pull loops and loops. And then you have this circle, and then you can crochet around. So if you're starting in a round, this can be an easier way, but once you're done and you have the tail, then you're going to want to create a knot somewhere, because if you don't, any amount of pulling or washing, this is all just going to unravel. So I like to make a slip knot, and this is how I make a slip knot. I do a loop between there, pull it around my thumb, around the loop, and then put it across the top of my thumb and pull it through that loop and pull both loops, kind of like you're tying your shoe, but you keep pulling like that. And then put your hook through the loop, and then it just, you just pull the long part, and it cinches up to your hook, just like so. And you can pull that and make it bigger, smaller, however you want to do it. You don't want it too tight around your hook. You do want it to be able to slide because we're going to be doing a lot of that. Now, holding your yarn. This is how I was always taught to hold my yarn, and this is how I just do it. So pinky around and around your finger. And I do it this way. I see a lot of people who hold it so tight that they have indentations. That's way too tight. You'll have a hard time getting your hook in. You want to leave it about like this all the time. And that's the whole point of your pinky, is to make sure that it's creating that tension on your yarn the way you need it. Now, to begin with, you're going to need to hold this part because you want it to slide, but you don't want it to slide off, and then it's going to like twist around and go all the way around your hook and everywhere. So just hold this so it's a little bit stable. You can hold it down here, however is comfortable for you, and make a loop and pull through. That is called a chain. And you can see there's like the pieces of yarn from the loop on each side. That's a chain. So we'll get a little bit closer. Sorry, my stand is kind of in the way, so I have to maneuver around it. Loop around, pull through. Loop around, pull through. And my pinky is still pulling on this yarn, so we can just pull some out so there's not so much tension. And you just keep doing it. Loop around, pull through. And you just move your fingers up as you make it. Go slow at first. And if it doesn't quite look like that, super easy. Just what they call frog it. You can just pull on it and it'll all come out and you can start over. And if you just want to practice on it a little bit and just keep doing it, then that's good too, because your foundation chain is going to be the foundation of everything that you make. And if your foundation chain is not pretty good, then the piece that you're making is going to look a little wonky. So let's do the chain. We're going to do loop around, pull through. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? Now, how you count these chains is this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And there's your knot. Okay? So we have 10 chains here. Now, in the beginning of every pattern, it'll typically tell you how many to chain. If you're making something that's a little bit longer or wider, or that's where you start. So when you're making a chain, that's what you do. Now, in some cases, whenever you're making a really long chain, this is going to start to curl and be looking all weird. Don't worry about that. As long as your chains, you can count your chains and they have the thread on either side and they look similar to that, then you should be okay. All right, now we're just going to make a single crochet. So there's several different stitches, and some stitches are very intricate. Some stitches are very standard. A single crochet and a double crochet are the two main stitches in crochet. So a single crochet, it's single. It's only like a single height. So let me show it to you and then I'll tell you, I'll take it back out and I'll tell you why I did what I did. So you loop it around and pull it through, loop it around and pull it through. Okay. That is a single crochet. Now, if you look at my work, I skipped this loop because the single crochet is only a single stitch tall. Okay. Now, in some patterns, this little stitch here, your little chain stitch, might count as a stitch. It might not. So it's in your pattern and it should tell you if that counts as a stitch. Typically, it does not. If it doesn't tell you, do not count it as a stitch. So then this is your first stitch. So let's pull this out. So I'm going to pull my single crochet out of there. Oh, my loop is a little tiny. See, it just slips through. So, and then pull it tight again. So now we still have our 10 stitches. The double crochet means you would skip 2 because the double crochet is a little taller, and that one you loop over. So we go 1, 2, and then we make our stitch in the third one. So this is a double crochet. So you're going to have 3 on your hook, and then you pull through twice once you loop it through the chain. So the double crochet, let me pull this out so you can see. you'll see my 2 stitches here. And then, okay, so that's the top. This is the top of the double crochet. Let me show you. Sorry, I'm trying to look through the video. This is the top of the double crochet. This is my 10th chain. This is my 9th chain. And this is the 8th chain that I double crocheted in. So this way it gives it space to be a little taller. So this is your double crochet. This is your chain. Okay. So when you turn it, it's not scrunching that stitch and making it look smaller. And this is important because especially if like you're making an afghan or something a little bit bigger, you want to give that double crochet space to be as tall as it's supposed to be. If you were to, well, let's just pull this apart and I'll show you. If you were to do a double crochet in the next stitch closest to the hook, then you'll see your stitch is going to be all scrunched up. It's very, very difficult to do. Look, I can't even hardly get it in there. Yeah, I can't. I don't think I've ever done that. But even if you do it in the second one, where the single crochet would typically go, you'll see that the double crochet is going to be scrunched smaller, and it won't match the rest of your double crochets in your work. See, now that it's almost as short as the single crochet and all your stitches are scrunched. And if you do the next one, you'll see how that one's taller. And now your work is going to look funky. Because your first double crochet is super tiny, and then this is the top of that double crochet. So it's all gonna like morph and start curling and being round. So you have to make sure you give those stitches space to be what they're supposed to be. Let them grow. Let me make that bigger. Okay. So let's just make a single crochet foundation chain. So we have our 10 stitches here, and actually let's just take it out again because it's good to practice. It's so good to practice and just do 10 stitches, you know. Practice making your knot, practice making your stitches, practice making your chains. Practice, practice, practice. Okay. So we're going to do 1, yarn over 2, yarn over 3, yarn over 4, yarn over 5, yarn over 6, yarn over 7, yarn over 8, yarn over 9, yarn over 10. I have 10 stitches. Okay. Let's do a single crochet. So we're going to go the second chain from the hook, yarn over, pull through, there's our single crochet. So we're going to do 9, and the reason we're doing 9 is because we skipped that stitch. So we're going to have 9 single crochets because we have to give space for that single crochet to become the single crochet. So there's 2, and you just put it in that little separation of those 2 stitches, so that little space. So there's 3, next one, and I'm holding on to this so that it doesn't like curl around my hook. 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm pulling on my yarn now. And this will curl. Every foundation chain is going to curl. And you just kind of pull it and stretch it just a little bit so it flattens out. Because if it curls too much, it'll start curling over your fingers and then you can't see. What were we at? 6, 7. Well, let's just count them and I'll show you. Sorry, I lose my train of thought sometimes. Okay, so we had our foundation chain, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can see the stitches on the single crochet look the same as your foundation chain, and that's how you count them. So this is your little chain that you gave space for your single crochet. This is your first single crochet, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. So we did our seventh. Oh, I'm not paying attention to the fun times. Okay. And then this is the 8th. And this is the 9th. Now, don't hold your yarn so tight that in your chain, your foundation chain, you can't push the hook through the hole. You do want to have a little bit of looseness there. And with practice, you'll get that. You'll start to feel and know, like, how tight do you need to hold your yarn, or how loose do you need to hold your yarn, or, how all that works. Okay, so there's a foundation chain, and it worked into every stitch, and it's uniform. And you can look at the top and count just like you did your chain. So this is a foundation chain. And I know that's all we're going to cover today. In another day, we'll talk about turning and how to keep your work and some of the sides the same, and all kinds of different tips and techniques. But practice this. This is all you need to practice at first. And this is close to what it should look like. Everybody's work looks a little differently. Some people hold their hooks differently. Don't be afraid. There's no right or wrong way. Some people hold their hooks. I hold my hook like this, like a pencil, and that's just how I was taught. Some people hold their hooks like this, and that's okay too. However you hold your hook, let me tell you, if you want to crochet, just crochet. Don't let anybody tell you what's right or wrong, because it all depends on the end product and what you're creating. And if what you're creating makes you happy and does what you want it to do, that's what's important. That's the whole point of crochet. It's a very relaxing, fun hobby, and make it fun. Don't let anybody tell you any different. So do it your way, but I hope some of these tips helped. If you have any questions, let me know, comment, like, whatever you want to do. Or just let me know, if there's any other videos you want me to post, and I can definitely do that. So I hope you all have a great day.